I've spent a decade reverse engineering why some trucks thrive at 200,000 miles and others tap out early. The pattern is clear. Mandate chasing tweaks, thin oils, complex aftertreatment, deactivation can collide with real-world loads. In this countdown of 13, I'll pinpoint the designs that look great on a spec sheet, but buckle under towing, idling, or bad calibrations. Keep watching to learn what maintenance truly matters, where early DEF systems hurt uptime, and how to spot the quiet killers hiding behind best-in-class brochures before they drain your wallet. Number 1. Ford F-150 5.4-liter Triton V8. The 5.4 Triton looked smart on paper, quiet, smooth, and sipping 5W20. So why did a tune-up spark fear? Those infamous two-piece plugs often welded themselves to the aluminum heads. Break one and extraction turned a driveway job into a shop bill. Then came the cold start rattle. Cam phasers need clean, pressurized oil to lock in. Short trips on thin oil built varnish, starving phasers and letting chains chew soft guides. Owners reported misfires, rough idle, and codes after long intervals. Engines that fared better used high detergency oil every 5,000 miles, one-piece plugs, and revised phasers. That quiet efficiency push exposed fragile threads and hydraulic timing to maintenance reality. Next, emissions moved the headache downstream. Number 2. Ford F250/F350 6.0-liter Power Stroke Diesel. It showed up with cooled EGR and a variable geometry turbo to pass new rules, and then the head bolts let go. Torque to yield fasteners couldn't hold when cylinder pressures climbed, so gaskets failed and the Doug A bottle burped under tow. Here's how the chain starts. Casting sand and debris clog the oil cooler's tiny passages. Oil flow to the EGR cooler drops. The EGR cooler overheats and can rupture, feeding steam into the intake. Meanwhile, soot sticks VGT vanes, oil shears, and temp spike. Shops report big turnarounds after ARP head studs, updated coolers, and strict coolant flushes. Reinforce those margins and the 6.0 behaves. Next came even heavier after-treatment loads. Number 3, Ford F250/F350 6.4-liter Power Stroke Diesel. Twin sequential turbos and a DPF sounded like clean torque on demand, but owners hit fuel and oil drama and non-stop regions. Early strategies fired late post-injection to heat the DPF, washing cylinders, thinning oil, and spiking wear. Oil levels crept up on dipsticks and hard towing triggered back-to-back regions that cooked turbos and after-treatment. Post-injection shoved raw fuel past rings into the crankcase, while heat cycles hammered pistons and bearings. Ford issued calibrations to alter region timing and urged severe-duty oil change intervals. Radiator and charge air cooler concerns added heat stress. Short OCI, vigilant oil level checks, and updated flashes helped. Next, we jumped to a gas V8 that chased MPG with displacement and cost cuts. Number 4, Ram 1500 4.7-liter V8. On spec sheets, the 4.7-liter looked like an easygoing budget V8 running light oil. In driveways, owners found early sludge and top-end wear sneaking in sooner than expected. Modest torque meant you stayed in the throttle, especially with a load. Thin oil on long intervals, limited cooling, and summer heat stacked the deck. Varnished cams, noisy lifters, and timing chain tensioners losing their edge after towing or idling in traffic. Shops noticed a pattern: neglected PCV systems and tired coolant turned oil dark fast, and long OCIS linked to cam and rocker scuffing. Some hot climate markets even advised thicker grades. Keep 5,000-mile changes, healthy cooling parts, and correct thermostats, and many survived. Next, heavy-duty diesels bring time bombs in the exhaust. Number 5, Ram 2500 over 3500. 6.7-liter Cummins. Early DEF years. The 6.7 Cummins name promised lifetime workhorse strength, Then early DEF years turned uptime into a scheduling exercise. Trucks that idled on job sites stacked Regans, flagged warnings, and slid into power reductions at the worst time. DPFS loaded with ash fast under severe duty, while city routes never hit temps for passive Regan, forcing active cycles that burned extra fuel. Cold snaps added DEF crystallization, taking heaters and lines out. NOx sensors tripped faults that locked in reduced power. Calibration stayed aggressive to satisfy enforcement. Number 6. Chevrolet Silverado 1500, 5.3 liter, active fuel management VIR 8. 4 cylinders when you cruise, 8 when you pull sounds smart, until the valve train pays the bill. AFM depends on precise oil pressure and timing. Thin oil and hot restarts let lifter lock pin stick, rollers collapse, and cams get scarred. Then you chase misfires and the dreaded tick. Here's why. The valley cover houses the AFM solenoids that route oil to special lifters. Aerated or sheared oil delays lockup, so a lifter hangs and wipes a lobe. Add a PCV path that drags oil mist and a low-tension ring pack that cokes, and consumption climbs. GM issued TSBs, splash deflectors, and later DFM changes. Number 7. GMC Sierra 1500, 5.3 liters AFM V8. Same engine, different badge. Did the Sierra's driving mix help AFM? Not really. Many Sierras lived suburban and fleet lives, hovering in 4-cylinder mode longer. That meant more transitions, more heat soak, and a lifter tick that turned into misfires. Short trips stack the odds. Frequent AFM engagement keeps the special lifter cycling, and when oil shears or air rods, a lifter can collapse and start wiping a cam lobe. Used oil analyses often show rising fuel dilution and viscosity drop on trucks stuck in stop-go routes. Number 8. Chevrolet Colorado, 3.0-liter Duramax diesel, early models. On the Colorado's early 3.0-liter Duramax, the sales pitch was diesel torque with hybrid-like MPG until regions and sensors dominated the dash. City commuters learned fast. The truck needed heat and time they didn't have. Low exhaust temps and stop-go traffic stalled passive regions, so soot piled up. The DPF differential pressure sensor threw warnings, forcing Regans that dumped fuel late, thinning oil and raising levels. Owners described CELs after short errands and rough idle until a forced Regan cleared it. Early TSBs brought updated software and superseded sensors, and highway drivers reported fewer issues than urban users. Number 9. Nissan Titan, 5.6-liter Endurance 5.8, early generations. Simple, strong, and thirsty, that 5.6 Endurance felt old school. The hidden risk lived in tight cooling and sealing margins. Early updates to meet emissions didn't change the hardware much, and towing in heat exposed the weak spots fast. Exhaust manifold studs snapped, flanges warped, and leaks tripped O2 and catalyst efficiency codes. Radiators and transmission coolers aged hard. Cross-contamination could milkshake the ATF and take out a gearbox. Pair that with thin oil, long-interval habits, and you saw varnish and heat-soaked compound wear in heavy use. TSBs covered manifold cracking, and owners in hot states reported repeat failures. Number 10. Toyota Tundra, 5.7-liter V8, early cam tower years. Toyota's rock-solid 5.7-liter earned trust. Then some owners noticed a faint oil haze near the valve covers. Dealers often called it normal seep, but it traced back to the cam towers and how they were sealed at the factory. Those early towers rely on RTV bead patterns rather than gaskets. Heat cycles, towing, and long OSE on thin oil let varnish form along the mating surfaces, and the seep slowly grew. Fixing it isn't quick. The intake, timing cover, and valve train hardware come off to reseal both towers. Number 11. Jeep Gladiator, 3.0-liter EcoDiesel. Torque in a midsize off-roader sounds ideal until EGR cooler cracks and fuel and oil show up alongside trail dust. Short, slow drives stack soot. push constant regions and light the CEL, then limp mode cuts the fun fast. Owners reported rising oil levels and a diesel smell on the dipstick after repeated incomplete regions. Eco-diesel platforms saw EGR cooler recalls and FCA notices detailing crack risks and fire potential. NHTSA campaigns outlined inspection and replacement procedures. Highway commuters typically finish regions and avoid dilution. Off-roaders and short-trip users struggle. Number 12. Ford Ranger 3.2-liter diesel, non-US variants. The 3.25-cylinder Ranger sounded unbreakable, then stop-start fleets learned the emissions add-ons made it moody. Urban routes kept exhaust temps low, so DPF regions stacked up. EGR ran dirty, oil thinned, and warnings became routine. Low SAPS oils helped DPF life but gave less cushion when towing in heat. You see it under the intake, thick carbon choking runners and swirl ports. Turbo vanes stick after countless short trips, spiking boost errors. Injector tips coke, spray patterns drift, and idle roughness creeps in. Australian and European fleet notes point to fewer failures with weekly highway burns and scheduled forced regions. Number 13. Chevrolet Silverado 2500 HD 6.6-liter Duramax LML. The LML raised injection pressure and added full aftertreatment. So why did repair bills explode? Start with the CP 4.2 pump. Its tiny cam lobe and roller run borderline lubrication. When USULSD lacks enough lubricity, the roller scuffs, the cam spalls, and metal shavings ride the return to the tank. From there, the dominoes fall. Contamination reaches rails, lines, injectors, and the tank, forcing complete system replacement. At the same time, SCR hardware threw curveballs. DEF heaters and quality sensors failed, triggering limp and strandings with shortages delaying fixes. That's it for today. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more updates you won't want to miss.